I'm going to be a little bit brief with this one. It's my Saturday morning. It's 5:50 a.m. I got to go to the city to box here shortly. So I'm doing, the bigger live stream will be, I've already saved it. It's pinned on my channel. I'm going live with TJ from Chilltown. We're going to be going live one more time today. My 11 o'clock in Sydney, 9 p.m. on the East Coast in America, Friday night, which would be 6 p.m. on the West Coast. He's going to give you guys his picks for the Crawford card. So you guys, I've been talking about all week who I got. You guys could ask me. Let me know. You guys could pick my brain. We had fights yesterday, and I want to know how you guys did. Personally, I went 5 for 5. The fights, there were no upsets. And I told you guys going into that card, that was the card at the Fountain Blue. Jaleel Hackett was on that card. We had Justin Valoria was on that card. Alasquaga was on that card. I told you guys going into it that was going to be a sort of feeder fight, meaning that the A-sides were going to win. And that's exactly what we got. So we got a little bit of momentum going into the weekend. We also we've hit our last six money line picks starting with 2 nights ago. We took Bekdamir at $1.47. We hit him. And then we also took the 5 favorites yesterday. We took Alvarado, Talley, Valoria, Hackett, and Alasquaga as well. So we're on a nice little, it's a nice start to the weekend. You know, especially if you're betting, you know, it's all about creating momentum, especially, you know, if you're superstitious at all. So as you guys are checking in, Diego in the house, what's up, buddy? Go to the Discord, Diego, if you're not already in there, if you haven't seen the picks. In the Discord, I've given you guys my long parlay. I've given you guys my UFC picks. I've given you guys my locks. Right now, 3 of the 4 locks already hit. It was the locks this week, I had it at $1.78. So the locks were for like the big bettors. One of my guys put 10,000 on my 4-leg. 10,000 gets him 7,900 back. So it's a 79% return rate. Those locks are for guys who are betting really, really heavy. The long parlays, which I gave you, are for like guys like myself, you know, sprinkle a little bit on a 10-legger and see if it comes in. I'm also going to give you my method of victory picks today. So that's what I'm going to tell you who I got, like, per se, you know, Bud versus Canelo. How do I see it ending? Boacek versus Adams. How do I see it ending? There's a couple knockdown props that I really like. My favorite prop so far this weekend is a knockdown prop in the Naoya Inoue fight. So I'm going to be putting that stuff up in the Discord too. And if you guys aren't in the Discord, that link is pinned in the comment section here. So it's become Johnny Says Boxing Insider VIP on YouTube. It's a couple bucks a month. As you're on this live stream, you'll see the boys with the stars. Those are Discord VIPs. To get access, you got to sign up here. It's a couple bucks a month. And I'm fighting a bit of some allergies right now. So pardon my flushy look and my watery eyes. It's going into the spring here in Sydney, so if you are susceptible to allergies like myself, Sydney is known for having high pollen counts, so I probably should take some sort of allergy antihistamine before I go into the city. But anyway, as you guys are tapping in, let's like this video, thumbs up. This live stream, I don't really expect it to be too hot and heavy. It's the live stream later on in the day. That's when I'm going to be sitting with professional bettor TJ. I mean, the guy's a bit of a wizard with his picks, so I already have that. Make sure you hit the notification button because that link, that stream is already pinned on the channel. Yeah, so yesterday we hit Alvarado, Talley, Valoria, Hackett, Alasquaga. Alasquaga looked good. I told you, I was convinced in Princessa. Princessa wins by stoppage. Hackett looked good. Hackett's a fun little prospect, man. He's 22 years old. He could have took an easier fight than he did. He's coming off his first pro loss. His first pro loss in a decision that some people think he won, and he takes on an 8-0 pro who you know has knockouts, who's 30. Hackett at 22, man. The fight was scheduled at 154. He did miss weight. You don't like to see that with young fighters, but his style, if you've never seen Hackett fight, man, he's so fun to watch. He just puts his head down, southpaw, just ripping body shots, ripping body shots. Doesn't set anything up though. Doesn't use his jab. He's instant entertainment. He's one of these fighters where I always say, man, just enjoy Jaleel while he's here. You know what I'm saying? There's certain fighters that just burn so bright at the end in terms of like the candlelight with their style. It's like, shit, this can't last forever, can it? You can't just be fighting like that forever. So yeah, Hackett is a fun young fighter to watch. Every time Hackett fights, I watch. Valoria is a kid. I think Valoria is 22 now. You could see the potential in Valoria. You could also see the sort of not being polished in terms of tactics, the physicality, the natural ability, the willingness to fight. Valoria ticks all the boxes. When you're at the highest level, when you're wanting to, and he won pretty much every round. But at the highest level, what boxing really takes is a mind, is the ability to have a fight IQ, the ability to understand a game plan, the ability to trust in your coaches in terms of them allowing you to use your strengths for your advantage. And then you have to then go and impose that on your opponent. And so Valoria is one of these young dudes who just wants to get every opponent out of there. And you saw that in his fight last night. The first few rounds, the body work was looking good. The body, he was investing in the body. And then somewhere in like the mid to late rounds, it only went 8 rounds, he started headhunting. He started going away from the body. I'm not saying he looked frustrated, but you just started to see the one-dimensional approach tactically. And whenever I see that in young fighters, that is a mature issue. That's not a skill set issue. So I'm going to get to some of your boys' questions. Diego, FX in the house. Koki in the house. What time? I'm sitting with TJ, guys. TJ's coming on in 5 hours. So 5 hours from now, I'll be here with TJ from Chilltown. Diego, is Mobili a risky fight? Diego B, they're all risky, baby. I gotta be honest with you. They're all risky. The fight I'm least stressed about is Canelo. That sounds crazy, but Canelo beating Bud by decision is the fight that I'm least stressed with. Mobili versus Lester, I got Mobili winning that fight. I think this is a step up for Lester. I think Mobili's pressure, his style, I think Mobili's pace, I think all of it is going to be too much for Lester. I thought Lester lost his last fight against when Lester fought Reiko Santana. I thought he was gifted a decision there. But then again, with Mobili, you could say, when Mobili fought Gongora hurt him in a couple rounds, but Mobili survived. And then you could say, well, when Lester fought Gongora didn't hurt Lester, and Lester's win was a little bit more convincing. So there are boxing mats with whichever way you want to roll with it. I like siding with what have you done for me lately? Pick the styles, see the matchups. I just think that Mobili style, I don't know if Lester's going to be able to handle it. Okay, the boys are tapping in. Jaleel and Alasquaga look sharp. I agree more. Let's go. We're winning. We're up, boys. Let's go. Johnny is Mobili. But I might grab. Get on Lester. Look, Lester's a live dog. I like Lester. I featured Lester Martinez before. Guatemala in the house, dude. Guatemala. This is crazy. Guatemala's never had a world champion, so Lester has a whole country behind him. Hi, Johnny. What do you think of Boachuk winning at 55? And okay, so Vin, that fight, Boachuk's camp asked for the 2-pound extra. I reported on this earlier in the week. Both guys are junior middleweights fighting at 154. But 4 days ago, Boachuk's camp requested the extra 2 pounds. I picked Mobili, but it's 50-50. I agree. It's 50-50 for sure. Lester will win. He's a better fighter. I don't know if he's a better fighter. I think Lester, I don't know, man. Lester's setups are pretty one-dimensional. Each guy has their flaws. I'm not going to sit here and say Mobili's way above. When I say Mobili's a level above, I'm talking about his opposition. I'm talking about his big fight experience. I think this is Lester's step up. I don't think this is Mobili's step up. Mobili's step up would have been if he would have got that Canelo fight. So Mobili is Lester's Canelo, if that makes sense. Boachuk always looks... Boachuk, for me, he never really looks great at the weigh-ins. Heaven sent. Get the thumbs up. I got Sarah, he losing out. Dude, Brandon Adams is a beast. And we could get into this. If you haven't seen my breakdown, it's under my fight prediction playlist. Adams versus Boacek too. Adams was losing pretty much every round until he wasn't. In 2021, he stopped Boacek. Boacek's only other loss was to Virgil. And, the thing about Adams, which I don't, Adams is 35 now. Adams is 5'8". Adams kind of hangs out and sometimes goes through these lulls of volume in his fights. Even I actually thought Adams beat Katsarakis. Adams was a guy, he only got stopped once. He got stopped in 2015, a decade ago, against a guy named Apollo Thompson. And since that loss to Apollo Thompson, he then goes on to fight Jermell Charlo, in which he lost every round. And then he fought Boacek in 2021, and then he kind of got shelved for 3 years. We didn't hear anything from him. And then in 2024, he reemerges and fights 3 times. And, 3 good fights, didn't win all 3. But, dude, Brandon Adams is a live dog, mate. I'm siding on the fact of Boacek's height. I think what I'm hearing is we're going to see the Boacek that we saw against Virgil. I feel the version that we saw against Virgil beats Adams. That's what I'm leaning on. Okay. Man, I'm turned up. Yeah, we got some good fights, boys. Champy, Boacek is another one. Yeah, Jesus Ramos is a beast. Good shot with Jesus. I like watching Ramos. Still young guy, too. Adams is an improved fighter since her last fight. Yeah, I think they both are, though, Koki. I think you could say they both are. I'm glad Zeidel checked Dana. I don't like the mix of UFC. Yeah, it was Heaven Sense referring to Sean Zeidel. He used to work with, I think he used to work with Fight Hype. And now he's with Sean Porter. He's on the Porter's podcast. Good reporter. Sean Zeidel, I'm just kind of perturbed on why he did it, how he did it. I know why Zeidel did it. Like, he wanted to go viral. He wanted to put Dana on blast. But I write books. You could call me an independent journalist. That was super unprofessional on Zeidel's part. At the risk of you're risking your name, you're risking your reputation, you're risking your brand, all for what? For the sake of going viral. And now all you have to do is know Dana's history with Ariel Helwani and how the UFC monopolized the journalistic space there. In order to even go to a UFC event and with media credentials, Dana runs a monopoly. We all know about this, right? He has to check you off first. So everybody you see who asks questions at a UFC event, those are Dana White. Dana White picks those guys, right? He's not going to allow random journalists to kind of poke holes at how he runs a business. This shit is tyranny. You know what I'm saying? That being said, Helwani hasn't been allowed to step foot into a UFC fight arena in over a decade. So for the way the landscape is moving with TKO and Sala and then Dana coming into the sport, Dana's promoting Bud versus Canelo, which is terrible. The whole media yesterday felt off. It was missing a spirit. It was missing sort of a heartbeat. It felt hollow to me. For Sean, though, to do that and instantly blacklist himself, assuming that Dana is going to do what he did with the UFC, I just think there were better ways of going about it. I mean, hopefully it works out for him, but I thought that was a very unprofessional move on Zeidel. Franklin versus Ditchko, I'm staying away from that fight. But Gaz, yeah, I'm not betting on that fight. Franklin should win that fight. But Billy was having trouble with a one-arm Derevyanchenko. Everybody talks about a one-arm Derevyanchenko. Mate, Derevyanchenko is one of the best fighters in his era. I think Derevyanchenko is one of the most underrated fighters in his era. Never been stopped, never been dropped. Derevyanchenko is a goddamn animal, dude. I think Franklin versus... Look, Ditchko's not that good. Ditchko, whatever you want to pronounce. He's 6'9". Look at his resume. Look at Jaiko's resume. If Franklin comes in shape, I didn't see Franklin at the weigh-ins. Franklin's the guy, at his best, he takes AJ the distance. Franklin should be able to beat this guy. I'm not betting on it. Zeidel tried to ambush question on White, failed completely. I don't like Dana, but Zeidel should have saved the question. 100% Koki. See? 100% Koki. You hit it before I read it. Mar, got to tap in early to catch the Righto fight. I like how Tsutsumi brothers work the body. Yeah, when's that fight, Mar? That's tomorrow, right? Crawford is ripped, probably the best I've seen him. Either Franklin or Adams will pull the upset. I thought Franklin would. See, the upset that I like is actually Raiko Santana to beat Steven Nelson. So when we're talking upsets, we're talking about on the odds, where the odds are currently. Right now, Raiko's a 3-1 dog against Steven Nelson. I don't know, man. Santana's the guy that watch Santana versus Lester. I think Santana, neither guy is going to blow you out the water. Nelson, old, flat-footed, doesn't have a lot of volume. Rico Santana, he's kind of fringe contender level. You beat Santana's one of these Cubans that they pair you up against him to see where you are in your development. I just think that I think Santana at 3-1. I think those odds are a lot to do with Bo Mack, B&B, and Crawford. You think Romero? Yoel Romero in the house. Minus 3 a.m. Let's go. I can't miss this one. Heaven sent Koki, Romero, and Bare Knuckle. That's insane. You think Steven Nelson is not nice? Do I think Steven Nelson is nice? No, I mean, look, Steven Nelson's a great guy. Steven Nelson's a guy who got into the sport late. Steven Nelson's a veteran. He's an entrepreneur. He's a pilot. He's a coach. He does a lot of things. But is he a pure boxer? Nah, man. Put it this way. This shouldn't be controversial. If Terrence Crawford didn't exist, Steven Nelson wouldn't be fighting tonight. You know what I'm saying? But that's part of why that's part of why, like, you gotta love when a fighter comes out of a small place like Omaha. He brings his people up. It's like with Boots. When Eddie Hearn signed Jerron, every time Jerron fights in Philly, he puts all his boys on his card. That's the beautiful part about boxing. My point is, Steven Nelson's very basic, man. Very basic. What's up, Johnny? Tyler, holla. And Gotti TV. Johnny, what do you think of Ishmael Davis and Garko? And Gotti, what's up, buddy? I'm not betting on the fight. This is the fight that's on the Patty Donovan undercard. I respect both guys, Ishmael Davis and Garko. It should be a good fight, a good little dust up. I think right now the books have a 50-50. It could go either way, man. It could go either way. Ishmael Davis has been in there with some good guys. Garko is a guy that people think that, the people I'm hearing in the blogs think that he's going to beat Davis. The odds right now in Sydney have a 50-50. The 156 catchweight for Bochek. Adams was present when the fights were announced 2 months ago. Adams was present. Okay. The ceremony is later. He hit the scale. They were both once. Yeah, I saw I shared the scale. I shared the weigh-ins on my Instagram. Guys, if you want an easier way to connect via message, if I see a lot of you boys aren't in the Discord, join the Discord, guys. Click the link that's pinned here. Johnny says boxing VIP here. It's a couple bucks a month. Get in the Discord. It's already at it's already at 220 people. All the pro bettors are in there. You're gonna get my parlays. You're gonna get their picks. Guys like Muscles, TJ, Mar the Prince, Randall Light, Boxing Fan. All the boys are in there. We just launched our NFL and college football channel, and we have our MMA channel in there, and it's all separate, but all the same boys are in there. So I see a lot of you guys asking some of these questions. Pop in there, man. The boys, you'll be able to pick the brains of all these guys. Johnny, did you eat your oatmeal and raisin toast? What? Have we spoken about raisin toast? That being said, let's get it. I do. Back in the day when I was a thick bitch, I had an ice cream addiction during the pandemic, boys. The pandemic got dark down here in Sydney, man. They put us on a lockdown for 2 years. And Ben & Jerry's had an ice cream flavor called oatmeal and raisin cookie. Boy, I used to eat a pint of it a night. Let's go. And Gotti, also tomorrow. I love this shit. Crocker, Donovan. Dude, the whole week's been great, guys. We already hit, like I said, 2 nights ago, we hit Bekdamir at $1.47 on the money line. And then yesterday, we went 5 for 5. I told you guys, these were all feeder fights. The fights on the ring. We won all 5 favorites. Pick those. Pick Bekdamir. Go 6 for 6. Take all those wins and put it on whoever you want this weekend. That's exactly what we did. Steven Nelson looks... Yeah, Steven Nelson, man. Kudos to Steven Nelson. He fought well late against Diego, actually. Billy was injured in that fight. Yeah. And, dude, Derevyanchenko, guys. Come on, boys. Watch Derevyanchenko fight. Go look at his resume. Hold up. I'm gonna do everybody a favor real quick. It's just that in this modern era of boxing fans, for some reason, if you don't have a perfect record, People don't even take the time to watch your tape. Derevyanchenko's 16-6, never been stopped. Let me show you who he's fought. I mean, he's 39 now. Lost to Mabili, beat Von Alexander, lost to Munguia, lost... Dude, watch the Carlos Adames fight. Lost the majority decision. Fought Charlo, fought Golovkin, fought Golke, fought Danny Jacobs. Dude, nobody wanted to fight Derevyanchenko, man. This guy, that's a good win to have on your resume. I agree about Derevyanchenko. The version he beat was not the same. The guy, Franklin, looked horrible on the scales. Yeah, guys, trust me, boys. I have a no bet list. I think you guys know that the longer you're on the channel. Fringe heavyweight, so domestic club level heavyweight fights, I don't bet on. Now, when I say bet, I mean anything over, we'll say $150. I'm not betting on, and this is my no bet list. I don't bet on fringe domestic level heavyweights, which Jaiko and Franklin are. I don't bet on, don't get offended, I don't bet on white French fighters. So, like, white French boxers, historically, I don't bet on. I don't bet on amateurs. I don't bet on Olympians, former Olympians with under 12 pro fights. And this is all from learning from my experiences. Think about Galal Yafai. Think about Albert Badr Gaziev. Think about Sulahan from France. So, and then what else is on my no bet? My fringe no bet list. In club level, guys, if you're betting serious money, you're not going to... These sort of fights, Jaiko versus Franklin, I mean, okay, do you want to roll the dice on that fight? What's the return on that? You know what I'm saying? Adu, I've taken a knockdown prop. That's the one, boys. That's my Adu, that's my prop. I've taken a 1+ knockdown prop in anyway, but pulled my 1.5 prop. You really think that? I like the +1. Adu, I don't want to get greedy here. I like the +1. When I make it, I'm gonna make it official and share it. I gotta check my bets. I'm gonna share it in the Discord. Right now in the Discord, I'm pretty sure you guys got my long parlay, my locks, and my UFC locks. So I really love the UFC locks. They're about, I think, $3 right now. More, I think Jermaine Ortiz will have serious. Man, I like Jermaine Ortiz. Are you saying that because they have similar nicknames? Isn't the... Yeah. Hold on. Mar, are you saying that coincidentally, or are you saying that just kind of like being ironic? Because Jermaine and Derevyanchenko share the same nickname. Because I'm sure you knew that. You're kind of a boxing wizard as well. I can't find the undercard fights on DraftKings or Naoya fight. So, Tito, I think at least on Bet365, Tito, when you go to your boxing, you have to manually type the fight in sometimes. So maybe go to DraftKings and type in Inoue and see if it comes up. How was your spar yesterday, by the way? Did you put belt to ass? Yeah. So Adu, at this stage of the game with the dude I'm sparring with, I'm teaching him. You know what I'm saying? And right now we're at the stage where he has to learn. I'm trying to put him and drown him in certain situations in sparring, to where he's not afraid, still trying to get the fear out of him, like he's going to get hurt. And I'm not hurting him up top. The only hard shots I am throwing is to the body. So I love body punching and seeing if he'll drown, especially weaponize. And I weaponize my cardio too. So I'm trying to like drown. He did well, man. He's doing good. He's doing good, actually. You know, once you get that boxing bug, I was telling him after the session, I was like, once you get bit by the boxing bug at any level, weekend warrior level, learning how to box, amateur or pro, you got it for life, man. You find yourself shadow boxing at the grocery store. You find yourself seeing a mirror, getting new shoes, and you're like trying to slip. Like once you get the boxing bug, boy, it doesn't go away. It does not. I love seeing those old videos. There's this old timer on social media. He might be 80 years old, and he's like always wears the gray hoodie. He's an old white guy. Yeah, once you get that boxing bug, boy. Steven Nelson ain't been the same. Yeah, since he caught that assault with... What? Hold up. I didn't know this. I thought Henry Williams was going to say Steven Nelson hasn't been the same since he tore his Achilles tendon. But Henry says Steven Nelson hasn't been the same since he caught that assault charge with a DW conviction for shooting that kid. What? With a DW conviction for shooting a kid who stole his car? When did that happen? Did the kid survive? Omaha is crazy. Today is the day. $2,000. Yes, Luis. Luis Carlo Trigiano. What a solid name, too. LCT in the house. I think that's where I'm at, too. He needs to fight some names. Let's get it. Tyler Randolph. And a member, Johnny. I'm a member, Johnny. How I get into this? Tyler, you got to... Tyler, did you... if you have the Discord app, Tyler, to get access, go to my YouTube interface. There's a members-only section. So on YouTube, the non-members will have just the posts, but you'll see a section that says members posts. In that section, you'll see the link for the Discord. Click that. Let me know if you get in. Sean Zeidel cooked Uncle Dana turkey. Gonna put on him. Yeah, yeah. I wish Sean would have went about it a little bit differently. The Figueroas. Yep, Mar. So we forgot to add to the no bet list Omar and Brandon Figueroa. Mar knows what time it is, and Mar knows why. We won't get into it. You know what, Mar? You know who else I'm throwing on there? Anybody with the name Tellez in it. So Tellez. If your name has Tellez in it, you are now on my no bet list. And that goes for Yenis Tellez and Rene Giron Tellez. Because those two guys cooked us. I mean, if you would have put that on my bingo card a month ago and said that 99% of the boys' parlays going into these two fights are not going to hit because of these two guys. Like, we lost thousands of dollars on those 2 weekends. The only 2 fights I lost personally in those back-to-back weekends was Yenis Tellez at $1.18 and then punk-ass Rene. Who thought Rene Giron Tellez was going to go in there and put belt to ass last week? So, yeah, I always take losses with a grain of salt, man. We got to just rub the shoulders, brush it off. But, man, I don't forget. You got the name Tellez in your name. You on my no-bet list now. Johnny, do you think Crawford will fight the majority of the fight as a Southie? I think so, Angotti TV. Great question. It's something I've been posing all week. You can't really predict things with Bud because he was telling people, if you remember going into the EJ fight, he was going to fight Orthodox the whole time, and he came out right away and fought him Southpaw. I think that, look, what I'm really interested, what I'm going to be watching closely with Bud versus Canelo is who has to make the first adjustment. And that's where I think will be the telling sign of how the fight plays out. And I think Bud's going to have to make the adjustments. Did you guys see Canelo yesterday and today? I was talking to Muscles on the phone about this. I haven't seen the focus on, so like if you look at all the, if we're talking nonverbal communication here, we're talking body language. Go back to the Skull fight, the press week, which barely existed. Go back to Berlanga's fight week, which you could see a lot of. Go back to Munguia's fight week. Canelo was acting as if he was the A-side. Canelo's body language the entire time was kind of like a king on his throne, kind of strutting with his bitches on each arm, per se, metaphorically, right? How a guy would be walking through a club like a G, like this. He wasn't walking through the club per se. This is a metaphor. Like when you're hungry, trying to get, nobody likes you. You ain't getting no pussy in a long time. You ain't got no money. That dude's walking through the club like chin down. You avoiding that dude. Like, hey, don't go that way. That fool's trying to scrap. You know what I'm saying? Like that body language. I haven't seen that from Canelo in probably like at least 5 years. He was like that at the presser and all fight week. This dude comes in. Why do you think he rocked the black beater, looking yoked with the black lokes on, was ho-checking cats, ho-check Max Kellerman. Dude, I got to tell you what, man. And we know what Bud's going to bring. Bud is always going to be Bud. But I think we're going to see a firefight. I think Bud is going to be the one to have to make an adjustment. I just do, I think it's shocking to me hearing all these predictions. It's almost like people literally are saying Canelo can't box. I'm like, what is like? Is there just an air of delusion going on in the sort of zeitgeist of boxing? Because my only regret right now, and I just told Muscles this on the phone, my only regret is that I put my bet in 5 days ago with Canelo on the money line. Because for some reason, I got Canelo at $1.59. If I would have waited, he's at $1.68 now. So like on a $10,000 bet, you know, that's an extra, if I got him at 68, that's an extra $1,100 on the comeback because all this money's coming on Bud. Because you got guys like Roy Jones talking about, and I'm a big Roy fan, Roy talking about weight classes don't matter. Weight classes don't. When Bud gets in there on fight night, his body's going to tell him what to do. It's like, what are you talking about, mate? Weight classes don't matter. It was an insane take. And then you got people saying that Bud is just meaner than Canelo. It's like, okay, but that's not a tactic. That's not a game plan. I told you, this is the one fight that I'm not stressed about my pick on this one. The thing I'm watching closely on this fight is from a tactical coaching perspective, the plan B that Bud will take. I want to see his game plan. I'm going live with TJ in 4.5 hours. It's on my channel. So go to my YouTube. I've already saved it. You can see that link. It says Final Picks with Chilltown Boxing. Dwayne Johnny said to be Bud seen something 2 years ago in the Charlo fight. 2 years ago in the Charlo fight, Bud was fighting at 147. Bud seen something in the Charlo fight. Charlo's bigger than Crawford, by the way. Who wins it? Like, okay. Gonna be very interesting when the gap closes. Yeah. What's up, Sal? How you doing, buddy? Guys, we're 30 minutes in. Let's like this video. No one's really... Is there a fight, you guys? Ask me something about your bets. I have Canelo, but he better go in there from round one and have no respect. 100. All right, Cash for Holmes brings up a good point. Cash for Holmes says, I have Canelo, but he better go in there from round one and have no respect if he's going to take his sweet... This is what I actually agree with Cash for Holmes. I think that this is what Canelo's game plan is going to be. I think from the opening bell, Canelo's coming forward. I think the game plan from Eddie Reynoso will be to come in close with Crawford and lean on him and feel his power early. I think you got to feel his power early. I think you got to take Crawford's best shot early, and then you have to make Bud second guess himself. You have to make Bud make the adjustments here. And I think that people are forgetting Crawford's feet are not what they used to be. Crawford was never a guy who used the entire ring. So, you know, I'm dispelling the myth that Crawford's going to use Floyd's game plan against Canelo is absolutely insane. Those two guys have never been alike, and nobody's like Floyd, by the way. Crawford is more of a flat-footed fighter in terms of his entrances and his exits. He's not going to move like William Skull. He doesn't have that in him. Crawford is going to fight Canelo. I think Crawford's going to get hurt to the body. I think Canelo, people just forget. Canelo's thicker. I mean, you saw the weigh-ins. Canelo, he doesn't look like he's an inch and a half shorter to me. Bud is like MJ and Kobe cloth. You don't bet against him. I disagree. I always bet against Kobe. Don't get me started on basketball. Kobe's not even in my top 4. MJ 1. LeBron 2. Come on now. Ohio in the house. Youngstown, what's up? And then at number 3, man, you guys are tripping. What era are we playing in? Are we playing in the 90s NBA? Because number 3, I'm taking Elijah on. Because no team was winning titles without a center. Are we playing in the current era? Yeah, I would take Kobe 3. But Kobe, in my opinion, I mean, he's a great scorer. Thoughts on the Inoue fight? Inoue versus MJ, it's going to be a firefight. MJ's a really, really good fighter. MJ's a very brave fighter, front foot guy, fast hands, definitely could crack. I'm taking a knockdown prop in that Poppy Brandon. So I always play a knockdown prop in the Inoue fights, and the odds are going to be better. I think Inoue's going to win, but the odds are shit. So if you go from picking a winner, just picking either a +1 knockdown, I could see there being 2 knockdowns, a flash knockdown here or there. I think I'm going to go with the 1.5. Walsh Vargas go the distance. I think Walsh is going to handle Vargas pretty easily. Go the distance. Is this an 8-rounder or a 10-rounder? It's a 10-rounder. Fernando Vargas hasn't even fought. What's his longest fight? It's a second 10-rounder. He's never fought past the 6th and a 6th. Yeah, I mean, the odds are nice enough to just take Walsh on the money line. I wouldn't be shocked if Walsh stops him. Jarvis on the money line is a lock. Jarvis. Are we talking about in Sydney? Are we talking about Brock Jarvis? Because the fight's in Australia next week? History Vault. I think that's who you're talking about, right? Liam Paro? Because Liam is fighting next week in Brizzy. Crawford can't move like Skull or Trella. Exactly. What about Davis Agarco? Davis Agarco, I'm not betting on. I talked about this earlier in the live stream. Ishmael Davis, decent pro. He's been in there with some good guys. He ticks all the boxes physically. Agarco, I mean, people that I know who are betting on this fight are actually taking Agarco. I'm being as authentic and as real with you guys. I'm not betting on that fight. The opposite Canelo is going to get hurt to the body. When has Canelo ever been hurt, Gracie? What is Bud going to show Canelo that Canelo's never seen, Gracie? Canelo is the biggest guy Bud's ever fought. Canelo is the hardest puncher Bud has ever fought. Canelo is the most experienced fighter Bud has ever fought. Canelo has been in there with guys like Sugar Shane Mosley, Floyd Mayweather, Triple G, Dimitri Bivol. What are you talking about? There's nothing Bud is going to show Canelo that he hasn't seen. Those are just facts. I'm a Crawford fan, but those are facts. I hope Crawford wins, but he's not going to win. He's not going to beat Canelo, man. Larry Bird's an athlete, boy. People sleep on Bird. Let's get it. It's almost like you were in the chat with me, Muscles, and Gary from 3D, because I told them about Bird and they were hating on me. I was like, Larry Bird, man. People forget about Larry Legend. You ain't even named 4. MJ, LeBron, Kobe. Do we have to go past 3? You know what I'm saying? I'm just being a bit controversial. Yeah, Kobe was a goddamn savage, man. I'm just from I'm from the Cleveland area. I hate the Lakers. I'm a loyalist, guys. I'm a Cleveland sports fan. Browns, Indians, and Cavs. Loyalist. It's still the Indians, but the Guardians are starting to get more easy to say. 2.5 games out of that wild card too, man. We won a close game yesterday. Walk-off home run in the 9th. People yesterday at the press conference, people said dessert time with Bo. Yeah, I feel bad. Man, I wish Bomac would lose weight. We talked about this yesterday on the stream. Wilt, Bill Russell, Kobe, MJ, go. Yeah, Gracie. Yeah, Wilt and Bill. People forget on Bill Russell. Yeah, it's just tough to combine eras. If we're gonna go back to Wilt and Bill Russell, I mean, Oscar Robertson. You know, people never say, the big O. You gotta, there's some good. The NBA has a long list of great guys. Even in Jordan's era, the reason this is my argument for Jordan, even though I'm a diehard Cavs fan and I hate the Bulls, and Jordan broke our hearts time after time in the 80s and 90s, is that Michael Jordan was, and this is my argument when people say LeBron's the GOAT or Kobe's the GOAT, is the fact that Michael Jordan's the only guy that I could name who robbed other Hall of Famers from having rings. Michael Jordan's era, the guys he played with, go look at the Dream Team roster from 92. There's at least 5 guys on that roster who are in the NBA Hall of Fame who don't have rings because of Jordan. Who could say that? Patrick Ewing, no rings. Reggie Miller, no rings. John Stockton, no rings. Karl Malone, no rings. Charles Barkley, no rings. 5 guys off top. Dominique, which is a little bit older. Dominique Wilkins, the Human Highlight Film, one of my favorite players of all time. No rings. You take Jordan out of that era and just like he never existed, those guys probably have rings. So that's the argument I use. You know, the another base level argument would be like, you know, they say, you know, which guy made other guys better? You know, what guy was on the team that made other guys? The only argument to have is, all right, what dude stole rings from Hall of Famers? You can't one up that conversation. He stole rings from Hall of Famers. I'm talking like top 25 all-time guys don't have championship rings because of Michael Jordan. What the fuck? That's insane to me. Oh, Olajuwon's my guy, by the way. I like Hakeem, man. Hakeem Olajuwon in the 90s era NBA, Hakeem was dominant in his athleticism and how he played the 5 position. Because at one time, the number 5 position, like I said, you guys know this, you weren't winning a championship in the NBA without a number 5. But at one time, the number 5 wasn't super athletic. You know, they were flat-footed. They were just a big guy who would get rebounds, and then slowly the position started evolving, like you would run the offense through the 5. So whether maybe you're running a 2-1-2 or you're running, you know, pick and roll offense. But Olajuwon was a guy who could pop in from the paint and pop outside top of the key and then pass the ball a bit. And, you know, he had a great first step, super athletic, had hops. Hakeem Olajuwon, dude, come on. The dream. They call him the dream for a reason. Bud stops Canelo. I'm not going to look silly. Bud stops Canelo says, you're going to look silly after the fight. Hope you didn't bet rent money. I'm not going to look silly. We can't go 100%. I'm just telling you, I'm a Crawford fan. I'm just telling you what I see. Man, this would be amazing if Bud could win. This would be one of the, I think people are undervaluing Canelo. And what I don't want to happen is this. If Bud beats Canelo, I do not want people to start saying Canelo was washed. Canelo wasn't that good. No. If Bud beats Canelo, you gotta, I've already given him his, like, Bud's one of my favorite fighters, you know, of his era. It's just, man, they are weight class, 21 pounds, dude. At 37, 38 years old, 21 pounds is a lot of weight, man. 21 pounds is a lot of weight. Same thing goes for Curry. Harden averaged 30 and 8, but didn't win because of Curry. Westbrook could have won a ring if it wasn't for Curry. Oh, Steph Curry. He's all right. Steph Curry's all right, but come on, mate. Who's the only team in NBA history to blow a 3-1 finals lead? Steph Curry. Kawhi probably would have another. Jordan would have 8 if he didn't retire. I think Davis is a good bet if he uses jab more. I was a big oh, come on, Seattle boy. You're talking about when they had Deadlift Shrimp. I think Rick Schmitz was on that squad. The Glove, Gary Payton. And come on, dude. The Beast. The Rain Man, Sean Kemp. Yeah, at one time, didn't Deadlift Shrimp and Rick Schmitz play in Seattle with Payton and Kemp? I could be wrong. I know Deadlift Shrimp was up there. But Seattle had a squad. It's a shit. People forget that Kevin Durant got drafted to the Supersonics. So Seattle, man, I was shocked. It was one of those, like, obviously because I'm a Browns fan. You know, it broke my heart when I was a kid when Cleveland overnight moved to Baltimore. Like, to this day, the franchise never really recovered from that. But when Seattle left, when the Supersonics left Seattle to go to OKC, I was like, how the hell does that happen? That's insane, because they had some squads up in Seattle, man. That place would get so loud. EV44, heard about that. Just heard Sonny Edwards saying that Garco been ducking fights. If I had 3 wheels, I'd be a bicycle. You know what, Jack, you know what my dad used to say about ifs? If my aunt had a dick, she'd be my uncle. Tyler Randolph, they're going to say Nello was washed, but us as Bud fans, as Bud fans, no. Yeah, Bud's an all-time great. Bud's an all-time great. I hope Bud beats Canelo, Tyler. I'm not lying to you. I wish you guys are educated fans. You know how I have to do this. I have a huge bet on Canelo on the money line. I did my breakdown. I'm telling you, from what I see in film, game plans, skill sets, where they are in their career, Canelo wins this fight by decision. He wins this fight, but I hope Bud wins. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I'm not betting anything that's going to hurt my bank account. Guys, if you're wagering bets that you can't afford, don't bet. If you're not having fun betting, don't bet. If you're being stressed out and you lose your bets this weekend and you're talking shit to your girl, you're being a dickhead, you're turning to alcohol and drugs because you lost a bet, you got a problem. Don't bet. So that's what I always tell people. So I went as heavy as I've ever gone on this fight for me, and I'm taking Canelo. But I'm going for Crawford. I hope Crawford wins. I just don't see him winning, and I would be irresponsible and I would be a gaslighter if I was running my channel, who I take pride in having a unopinionated approach when I'm telling you who to bet on. If I don't think Bud's gonna win. I don't think Bud's gonna win. And you know what? Remember this, guys. When they went to Zaire, Africa, when Ali fought Foreman in Zaire, it's famous. You guys have seen this. Ali is walking out to the ring, and there's that famous scene where he turns to all of his crew, and he goes, "What the F is wrong with you? I see the way you're looking at me. We're walking out to my funeral." He's like, "You guys don't think I'm gonna win?" He was like, "Stay back here then." Don't, like, that is, so what I'm saying is it's normal. It's not a shocking thing for me to say that I'm a Bud fan, but I think he's gonna lose. There's famous instances of this in guys' own camps. Ali's own camp. He called them out walking to the ring against Foreman, calling them out for their energy, saying, "You guys think I'm gonna lose?" And that's, "I'll show you how great I am. I know you picked him. I know you got him. Foreman too big, too strong, punch too hard. Ali, slow. I know you picked him. I know you got him. I'll show you how great I am." Come on, dude. Bud Crawford has an opportunity to do that. Who wins, Fedora Thurman? Ooh, we're going to get to that. I just want Bud to win. Cry tears of joy. Yes, go. It's the other way around for me. I got Bud on the money line, but hoping Canelo can pull it off. Interesting. McKenna, Dylan Moran, not betting on that fight. Now, Julius, if Aaron McKenna was fighting, I'd be betting on that fight. Who wins, Davis? Oh, that's not boxing. Who wins, Tank versus Jake? And on that note, guys, I got to run. I got to go box today. I'll be going live in 4 hours with TJ, Chilltown Boxing. The link is already on the channel. I see some of you boys who were VIP, who might be in the Discord. Renew the membership. It's an honor-based system. You sign up here on YouTube. You get the blue star. It's a couple bucks a month. You get access to the Discord. Right now, I'm not monitoring you guys if you're in the Discord and you didn't reapply, but reapply because I know who you are. And it's just an honor-based system. It helps the channel out, and it keeps everything copacetic. And I'll see you guys in a few hours. Let's get this money.